What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Valynt Volumes. This is your CEO, Dan Spottsville, and one of the main hosts. And then next to me, I have
Makayla Mitchell, but you always call me Mac.
I almost jacked that up.
I think we both jacked it up. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How's your day been?
Dude, it's been busy. I've done a lot of driving.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of finishing my move. And so there's just a lot of random errands, but I've been consuming so many podcasts lately.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
I mean, my dad, I really like to do a different like Rogan episode. It
Okay.
depends on who he talks to, though. I don't necessarily love the comedian ones. They can just be a little too perverted sometimes.
I've heard, we heard one in the car and it was bad.
Yeah, it's just,
it's just perverted. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like when you talk with like your friends, it's like
Sure.
sometimes you go off on a rant that like maybe doesn't need to be recorded. But I do like the ones where it's like a new topic. So if it's like him talking to like a farmer who has some insight on like how food is made and stuff, or if it's technology, like it's just something new to enter into my brain. And I like that.
Okay.
So what have you been listening to or reading? Anything?
I mean, quite a bit. Like, in the mornings, I do my positive like audiobook. I tend to probably do that like half of the week. Like, I really do. You know? Like when I wake up initially, I'm listening to the. It's called. I have that up here. Since I thought it was gonna be a topic of conversation. 10,000 positive affirmations. So it's like positive affirmations from about health, beauty, finance, career. I mean, every area of your life, spirituality. But it makes you like it's hours. It's 10,000 affirmations. It's hours of just like on a basic level, like I am strong. Like I'm open to money coming my way. Like it's just like getting yourself into this place of like positive thinking and removing all the negative thought process. So I'm not a negative person. I just keep this in mind. So I never let the negative come. There's no space of negativity in my mind.
Yeah.
It helps.
So it really is just like topic for topic, like repeating those like phrases to you.
Yeah. And then I catch myself saying it. And that's how I got myself from a negative mindset, like, 15, 16 years ago. I would go to sleep listening to positive, audiobooks. So like when you should try it. Like if you're listening as a Valyntpreneur, like you should try it. Like listen to a positive affirmation audiobook when you go to sleep. I promise you when you wake up, you'll say some positive shit and it's weird.
Yeah.
I'll wake up like I'm a fucking winner. Like, it sounds cheesy, but like I really do.
I mean, it sounds like Emilio agrees.
You do it?
I don't know if your mic's on, but do you listen to different positive affirmations and stuff?
So I don't listen to it, but I have heard before that if you listen to positive things while you're going to sleep, it's going to have a positive effect when you wake up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
So
I mean,
that's what I do.
I haven't tried that yet, but I know that the opposite also exists. Like if you go to sleep with like super scary stuff on your TV, like you're more like, I know I've been more prone to like have a nightmare or something, or like it bleeds into my dreams.
Yeah.
So
it really does. So like on my phone, right? Like when I wake up at 6:30, it says, say something positive and what you're grateful for at 6:30 a.m. every morning. And then at 9 p.m. on the dot on my phone, there's a calendar invite for myself that says, think something positive. Like I intentionally have those things as reminders to make sure I do that. But outside of that, go ahead.
Well, how long have you been doing that? Like, do you remember?
I mean, this is like pre-Valynt. So like, Virgin, I was doing it. I think I started right before like I went to the Virgin Islands, to run that company there. So 7 + 5, 12, at least 13 years.
That's a long time.
At least, yeah.
But not with the same app, right? Like not like the same daily affirmations or
No, the audiobook app that I've been using,
Yeah.
I've had for over a decade.
Oh.
So like there's hundreds of books in my audiobook app that's transitioned from the iPhone, 8 to the 9 to 10 to whatever. But because I buy them.
Yeah.
And then it just stays in my library. But I was like,
cool.
I run through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other audio book that I think we both have started listening is the one that my dad shared, The Comfort Crisis. We're very new into it, which I'm excited to. I don't know. I've just been in this like, I want to put more like, not just like good positive things in my brain, like the thoughts that you were sharing, but also like new just new ideas. And so like with the book that my dad shared of The Comfort Crisis, I think I'm too new into it to actually like share what it's about, because I don't want to misspeak. But like, as you know, I've been reading a ton more with my Kindle. I love my Kindle.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Like what are you reading and like how many books have you read this year?
Well,
Or like
yeah, I
recently?
got it as an early gift in November,
Yeah.
and since then I'm on book 11, so I've finished 10 books.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that means you're not on social media or watching Netflix, it sounds like.
Okay, it's been crazy because like I got a notification in December from TikTok, like they send you the weekly like what you've been consuming or how much time you spent on there.
Is it drastically down?
It literally told me 60% less this week, and I was like, holy shit! It was like I'd been on there for like maybe 2 hours or something like total for the week.
Yeah.
But no, I found myself like out of touch with TikTok because I mean we listen to the TikTok radio on Sirius XM and like I don't recognize the songs anymore because I haven't been on there. I've literally just been consuming my Kindle with different books, whether they be like romance novels or like maybe something educational, mix it up with some horror, and then some TV at night.
Yeah. And then like I know you're a very productive person, so like the fact that it showed like, you know, you're 60% down in your reading, I mean, imagine just the amount of time like just regular individuals are spending on social media. I mean, not all of that time is bad, but like I just know, like, you know, I know we talked about it in like a couple of episodes ago that most people are spending anywhere from like 4 to like 6 hours or 3 to 6 hours, whatever that number is, on social media just doing nothing. You know what I mean? And that time could just be cut in half. If you're doing 6 hours a day on Netflix streaming and social media, if you just spend 3 hours a day reading or listening to audiobooks or you know, diving into something, you know, that's of interest to you and picking up something new to learn or to like start a side hustle, like the time is there.
Yeah.
It's just that people don't realize how much time they're spending on social because you're not tracking it. If you're not tracking, you're not going to know.
Yeah. I've noticed that my attention span is almost like increased some because I noticed if I'm on TikTok, like, or Instagram too, I'll start scrolling and you're on there for hours and hours and hours because it's many things of new content. But when I've been using my Kindle much more, not only am I more focused on my Kindle, but when I go back to TikTok or something, it's like, I don't wanna, the clips are too short. I want to have something that's like more attention. I want to like get really deep into the story of like what's happening, not just like these random people. I'm like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, but that's look, I don't know at the psychology level like what you would call this thing that you're experiencing, but for me, like at a very like, you know, high level, it's just a behavior thing. Like you've changed your behaviors in the last couple of weeks of, you know, scrolling through shit versus like, you know, paying attention to something and focusing, and that's what the transition probably is. Because I know I have a hard time like going through TikTok too. I mean, I spend more time probably on Instagram, maybe like at the most, I think, you know, in a day I might do like 20 minutes. Like there's days maybe like on a weekend I might do 30 minutes, but man, during the week, I mean, you see my schedule from like, you know, 7 a.m. like yesterday's schedule, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Yeah. I had something every hour. Within the hour, I had shit within that hour. Like it was back to back to back to back to back. But that's how my year's been. So.
Well, what is making your days so busy now? Like, is it because you have new team members or?
It's a combination of a lot of things. You know, we have like 3 major initiatives that we're pushing this year. Over to, you know, inside of Valynt. So there's just a lot that's happening. I'm not like busy. I'm not doing like the, you know, like the building of the ads or like closing the deals. All of that is handled by the team members. So I would say about 90% of things that, you know, that are within the agency world, it's been handed over to, you know, our team members.
You found your peeps.
Yeah, I found the street peeps.
Found the street peeps.
Yeah, that's an inside joke.
No.
So like my days are spent like working on the business. So like inserting, you know, new software that we're launching finally next week, where, you know, we increased our quality of the video production that I touched on. The new website finally is, you know, I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I see Jagger roll his eyes every time you say the website's almost done.
Yeah. And then, you know, right now remember we just hired 3 people like last quarter. Now we're bringing on 3 more people, you know, sales, copywriter / account management / another marketer. So we're just in a growth phase. So like I'm actually doing CEO shit.
That's what I used to say to you all the time. Like, how do we get you there? How do we get you to do your CEO shit and not the day to day? Yeah,
I'm finally there. I've really removed myself from the day to day. You know? It's not that I don't pay attention to it, and it's not that it's not important to me. Like, there's just a vision that we need to get to, and my ultimate job is to make sure we get us there. So that's what my day is consumed. A lot of talking. Hours and hours of talking to people, relationship building. You know, relationship building is very, very important for us right now. So a lot to do there too.
Is there a number one priority? And like within all of that, of like as you're building the business, because you said the website, I mean, you know, the podcast, the video production, like you still named a shit ton of things. Is there a number one priority?
Yeah, they're equally as important to do the things that, you know, that I just listed. You just got to do them in the right order. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like, is this one important than the other? It all has to take place or it's not going to be what it's supposed to be. So it's just like figuring out what comes first or what should be done simultaneously and making sure I have the resources and the right people in place to drive that initiative forward, you know?
I think it was yesterday you said something like you felt like you just not just started, but you were working on so many different projects in like so many different directions. And it was like a little overwhelming that day, but how do you get through that?
Yeah, well, it's overwhelming because like I was just saying, like, you know, my schedule is jam packed from like 7 a.m. and that's pretty typical. It's just that yesterday I put everything on calendar, so it's just a lot. I just realized like how much I'm doing, but you know, from this podcast, you know, we revamped and, you know, what do you call it? Redesigning the logo and having a strategy to push this podcast out, you know, so we can have an impact on more Valyntpreneurs like within DFW to start here. You have the website, you have the video production, you have the software, you have new team members, you have the HR component of it, the benefits of like, you know, are we going to stick with Blue Cross Blue Shield, you know, for our team members? There's just a bunch. Like I think yesterday I touched on every category that I just mentioned to you, and I'm either talking with somebody that's working on that project, or I'm personally driving that project. I'm working with, let's say, like the website. You know, happy to say this, like because we don't do websites, I'm working with a contractor to get this website completed, so it like reflects where our business is at today, and it kind of future proof it. So there's and then, you know, trying to finish up the office. I mean, there's there's little things that I'm doing, but all of that happened yesterday. For sure. I had every conversation yesterday.
There's one conversation you didn't touch on,
which is what?
I think it was yesterday. But like as we're building Valynt within the community, we've also been a part of the Frisco Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yes.
And do you want to touch on that? Because I know you've been working hard to build that relationship.
So relationship building is important. I mean, that's something you got to focus on like all the time. Like Jagger's always relationship building, you know, like that's like our person from Valynt that's just out there like
he's like
shaking
the
hands.
Spokesperson almost.
Like, you know, and obviously like having new clients, I mean, that flows through Jagger. But yeah, Frisco is a very important relationship for Valynt. Not to say selfishly because we gain something from it, but it's more so like, you know, we wanted to plant our footing somewhere in the city of DFW. And we started off the relationship, you know, joining the Frisco Chamber of Commerce. And I hadn't joined a Chamber of Commerce until just now, you know, because I wanted to make sure we planted our footing in the right city and the right part of DFW. That being said, the Frisco Chamber has opened up a lot of doors for us already. They host great events. It's allowed us to be part of FC Dallas Affiliate Partnership. It's allowed us to work with the city of Frisco EDC for some of their marketing initiatives. So there's a lot. I mean, we even created a connection with a, you know, cinematographer / you know, media team that we kind of work with on some of our video production stuff to be able to elevate what it is that we do video production wise. And that all happened because of the city of Frisco. I mean, the city of Frisco and the Chamber of Commerce of Frisco put these events together that allowed our organization and our agency to be able to go to these things and connect with the community. I think they do it the best here in DFW. I've been to some chamber events throughout my last couple of years to kind of see like where I want to be. But Frisco is hands down one of the best Frisco like Chamber of Commerce places that I've been to. And I don't just say that, but it's really like they just give a shit about the business owners that's in the chamber. It's not one of those like superficial things that they're like, hey Dan, like thanks for coming out. You know, it's like they put meaningful events together and has had such a huge impact on us in such a positive way just in 12 months of us being part of that Chamber of Frisco. So like shout out to Frisco Chamber of Commerce team members, and you know, the president is Crystal, so shout out to Crystal, and she emailed me with some of the feedback that I gave her. So you know, we're super grateful. I know all of our team members here are grateful. So
I did like going to the event that you mentioned where we happened to meet producer for video that works out for us. But
we met a lot of people that night.
Yeah, that was really cool. Another thing that we learned about through one of the emails they'd shared was about like a mentorship program for young kids. Maybe they're high school, college, but they're looking to start a business. And so like the part of it is if you're a part of Frisco Chamber, you as an entrepreneur can come and like mentor these kids, and like that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's the YEA, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely want to be able to do that. I know I reached out to some of the people that are part of that, or I think that kind of started that, YEA program, or that's in charge of that program, I should say. But again, that's another reason why I believe like the city of Frisco is a great place for us to be. It allows us to really give back to the community. And look, I think as a small business owner, you should be part of that community. And I can't even believe I'm saying this. Like it's like me talking about community. Come on, like it just. I would have never thought I'd be talking about the community, but it's very important, and I think people should really, if you have the opportunity, and if you're in the DFW area and you don't have a home, Frisco Chamber of Commerce is a great place to explore and to start that process for your business, small, medium, or large.
Yeah. Are you able to speak on like what it means to like apply to be a part of a chamber of commerce, or like what that looks like for business owners?
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak on what some of those things entail.
Is it like a membership?
Yeah, it's a membership, but it's much more than that. So like what I would encourage, is to attend one of these like, breakfasts that they hold like, on Thursday mornings at 7:30. It's always at different locations. But I mean, if you just simply search like Frisco Chamber of Commerce, you'll definitely have all the information that you need there. So I'd rather redirect everybody there. There's a lot of great information there. And that's where I started. And obviously like our partner, Chris Matthew, was sitting on like some leadership role in the city of Frisco, and he didn't even push me to be part of the Chamber of Frisco. That's one of those things that I really made a decision after looking at all the different options out there. So
I mean you mentioned it's growing, but like Toyota was just recently like brought to the Frisco area, right? And then there's Universal coming in 2024.
That's the EDC part. Doing their part. So
the PGA Omni hotels, like there's a ton of business hotel out there.
I mean they're certainly focused from the piece that I know about the city of Frisco is that they are very active, they're very involved, and they're bringing lots of great things to the city. And not only is it having a positive impact on the city of Frisco, but I just know surrounding area is getting a positive impact in that overflow of whether it's energy or whether it's job opportunities that they're bringing. I mean, it's all in all, it's a great thing that's happening there.
I like how it makes you look to the team. Like you're putting yourself in a position where you and Valynt are affiliated with not just like big organizations, but like organizations that actually have an impact on the community. And so when you have new team members, you get to say like, yeah, we do cool shit. Big organizations want to be with us, but also like we make an impact. And like when you have these big galas like the Frisco Chamber, Valynt's gonna have a sponsorship thing up there, because you're a part of the chamber. Your team members actually get to be a part of the different programs that actually happen within it, whether it's a huge Valynt's doing this, but Bianca could want to go do something because Frisco does it. So I think that just makes Valynt an even more likable company to come work for.
Maybe,
not just the cool office space.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope that's what's happening. So we'll see where it lands in the next couple of years. Yeah.
How is the office going? You had the wallpaper. I just mentioned it's a cool place to work. So is there something new happening with that?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, who am I to say it's cool? But like, I'll just say this: like, we're in this new office building, and when you got people breaking their necks, like trying to peek in and like tiptoe and stuff like that, like seeing what's happening. Yeah. Well, you got something going on in that office. But we have like brick walls, like, that looks like a brick wall, L shape.
Like wallpaper.
Wallpapers. We got, it's all black. The walls are all black. I mean, we just have like cool lighting. You know what I mean?
I think it's definitely made a huge impact on your productivity.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Like I created like this flow. Dim the lights, play some music. Was it Homebody? Homebody like music with the homebody.
Yeah.
and just I got my little Japanese snack rack in the corner where I can just munch on my candies. You know?
See, I used to think like it wasn't a big deal, like you could work anywhere, but during COVID, I realized, you have to separate work from home, and I was working at home a lot. But now, like seeing the impact that the office has made on you and your productivity, it's like, oh no, like your setting actually matters. Like I get why people maybe want to go to a coffee shop and work because they like the vibe. Like it all makes a difference in like what you're surrounding yourself with, whether it's what you're listening to, you're just all of that.
It really does. So like, yeah, no, I'm happy with where we are with the office, I think the team members like it too. And it was cool to kind of see like all the guys like huddled up in the office yesterday.
Oh yeah. I did walk
doing our
that.
morning, like, like call with everybody on the team. So it was cool. Yeah.
Is it easier to work like to be creative with them? Like I know the reason I asked that is because I know a lot of jobs offer remote settings, fully remote or like a hybrid role. So like, what can you speak to about like being in person with people and working with them that way?
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, like, I know hybrid or working from home became like this accepted thing like during COVID, but we were doing that when we started Valynt. So we used to call it Creative Day. So Creative Day was because I'm a creative at heart, like I just couldn't be at the office like 5 days out of the week. It just made no sense to me. So I was like, we're gonna do what's called Creative Day. So we'd be in the office like 3 days out of the week, sometimes 2 days out of the week, but it was like half and half. So we were doing that like 3 years already before COVID hit. So like for us, when that transition happened, it was nothing. But all that said, because I got to design the office the way I want to, like exactly how I want to while we finish this thing up. For me, it's a good balance of working with people and bouncing ideas off because you can do it in real time.
Yeah.
I think that's the true value of like working alongside people, just even like at a minimum, like once or twice a week. You do get that real time feedback and input. And when somebody says something, then it triggers something in your brain, and then it triggers something else in somebody else's. So I've already kind of seen that happen. But not only that, like I think it's beneficial for our clients because like I have the ability now to put it all up on the big screen when we're building ads or when the ads are built, and in real time give our team members like feedback and tweak certain things or coach them through like, hey, this is how you should think when you're building it, or ask them the question, hey, why'd you build it this way? Talk me through your thought process. And then I'm able to kind of let them see like if they thought there was only option A, B, and C on how to build this campaign, I'm introducing them like, why don't you combine A and B and then create option D or option E, or there is option L right here. You know what I mean? So like it just allows us to become much stronger as a team, and obviously it creates that stronger bond as a team too. So
yeah, I could see that being beneficial because I know whenever like I would pick up the phone to call you, like when we were in a fully remote setting, right? If I have a question for you, it's like I'm thinking, okay, did I interrupt something? I'm working on this. I'm fully in this, but I know he's not. So I don't have your full attention to like dive into this, whether that's like the reality or it's just like the anxiety behind it.
Yeah.
But in a real setting, like, you're both working on it together. You do have your full attention.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. But also, like, you can be a little intimidating sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
And asking, but think about this.
Yeah,
think about
sure.
this. If you have 60 minutes in a Zoom meeting on the calendar.
Yeah.
And why did you build it this way?
Yeah.
You only have this a lot of time. It feels a little bit more, whether it's you or just the setting is more intimidating to like get things done. But in an open room, like you've set up with the team, hey, why did we build it this way? Like, let's talk about it. Like, we're here together.
Yeah.
Like,
it's more collaborative.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way.
Maybe
but
I was wrong to say you're intimidating.
Yeah.
It can be intimidating the way
sure.
it's so structured, the way that is. Yeah. So it's more free flowing.
It is. That's a great word. I think it is free flowing. You know? And I do see. I mean, the team members like it. I know the guys like it there. So
yeah.
Everything's good there for sure.
I can definitely see like not only you but Ishmael probably being there several days a week and just like enjoying coming to work, and that's what's cool to see the team like really throwing themselves into.
Yeah, and that is what I wanted to create, by the way. I mean, that's been my whole intent. And there's other use cases for it too. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Do you want to talk about our idea for the corner space?
Yeah, I mean the corner space has like a L-shaped couch, you know what I mean? So like just being able to get the guys and ourselves like in just sitting there and like just in a sense like shooting the shit, just talking about stuff for ad builds, I think that's a great place for them to kind of even get comfortable, talking on, like, if I recorded or something, like just talking on camera, like it just serves a different purpose than the studio that we're in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I felt that with you and Jagger yesterday when it was closer to the end of the day.
Doing the interview yesterday?
Yeah. That and in between the interviews, it was just like, it felt cool. I really liked it because we got to explore some topics that, like, just like I was just describing, of like when you have a meeting on the calendar, you feel like you only have this much time. You're not actually with that person. You can't have water cooler talk,
Yeah.
But with this cool of an office and that like type of seating that you have set up, we're really able to just like make it less formal and bond. So cheesy.
And we have the idea of creating a brand video for ourselves too. So like it'll allow us to like record some behind the scenes stuff throughout like the year this year. So I think it'll be invaluable for us in a lot of different areas. Yeah, I like the behind the scenes kind of thing too.
I have a feeling
they can see it.
People are so tired of us talking about the couch, or not the couch, but the office. But like it's so cool, and that's like it's exciting to brag about like the cool things Valynt is doing, because we didn't have an office space.
Yeah, we were just like with the co-working space.
Yeah,
which was still good, but like we've graduated.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of topics written down that if we still have some time to talk about.
Yeah. Shoot away.
One of them that I think is a good kind of situation you've been in recently was talking about like some of the oversaturated lead gen messages that you were getting. You want to dive into that?
Yeah, I can. I think. Yeah, sure. I certainly can.
If not, we can.
No. Okay. I think that's a good one, and we can probably knock this out pretty quickly here.
Make it a little more digital marketing for a few minutes.
Yeah, like I think if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, especially if you're like on LinkedIn and you're in a certain vertical, I've started to, and this has been happening to me for quite some time. Like I've been getting a lot of messages like, hey, I can help you generate leads for your agency. Or like, hey, if you're generating leads, I can help you schedule it. Or hey, I have
following up here, Dan.
Like just, like it's just very templated messages. I get them in my email message on LinkedIn. I get them in my emails. I get text messages sometimes. But the point of this is that it's always the same type of message, and it's like very cookie cutter, right? It's cookie cutter. Nothing wrong with it, because I think these people that are sending these individuals, solopreneurs, it's not like that I'm hating on them. I'm just saying, I'm trying to point something out here. They're sending these type of messages, and they're wondering why, like, they can't grow their business, or they can't get to where they want to go. I think kudos for taking initiative to take a course on how to do this, because I can promise you, like, hundreds of these messages that I've gotten over the last, let's say, 6 months from 100 different like companies or solopreneurs or whatever, or entrepreneurs that are trying to break through and do their own thing. Again, kudos to taking that initiative. But what you need to understand, if you're doing this and you're listening to this, agencies like ourselves, or business owners like myself, and people that are like, beyond where we are getting these messages anywhere from like 3, sometimes like I've seen 7 of these same messages. And then if I sometimes combine the email and the text and the LinkedIn message I get, it's over 10 of the same message. It's like, hey, I could do lead generation for you. Yeah. And what I'm saying is it's saturated, but you're going about it the wrong way, because what you have to realize is that course that you bought, so did 10,000 other people that bought the course.
Yeah.
And that guarantee that they make, like, you'll make 10,000 a month in 90 days, that's bullshit. Like, it ain't going to happen. It happens to the 1%. You just got to ask them one question. Put those people that you helped out make 10,000 a month on a Zoom call, and let's have a conversation so I can hear what, how they were able to do it. Because if they follow this blueprint on how to do lead generation for agencies like ourselves, but one, we do it for ourselves. If you're a digital marketing agency and you can't do your own lead generation, there's something wrong there.
That's a good point.
Especially if you offer lead generation campaigns to your clients. It makes no sense to me that you can't do your own lead generation.
Yeah.
Because that means you don't have it figured out. And again, like, I'm not talking shit. I'm just pointing out the facts here, that you got to be able to do that for yourself. But again, let me just rewind back. There's a lot of you out there that's listening to this. Like, you're sending, like, without knowing too much, like, people like ourselves are getting so many of these messages, and I try to respond to some of them. Like, I'm not, like I said, I'll get those messages. Sometimes I'll say, hey, look, we do our own lead generation. I I think you need to take, like, I'll give some sort of advice on that, like, you know, and I take like less than 30 seconds to give it.
That's nice of you, though. I mean, most people would just click the like LinkedIn like prompt below. No, thank you, I'm not interested, because like I do that.
Yeah. See, you get it too then.
Yeah, not for the. Actually, yeah, I do get it for the Legion, but I get a lot of the emails and LinkedIn's that are more focused on like SEO or content creation for your platform.
Yeah. And some of those, I'm not saying all of them are bad, but there are more of those people that took the course like for 30 days and then they're sending me messages versus like people that are, you got to start somewhere. So I know you got to take the course and do that. But also when you do it that way and you only follow that one course, when it doesn't work out in 30, 60 days, people are just quitting so fast. Look, I know an individual that was recently hired in our agency. I'm not going to name any names. He told me this yesterday. And that's why I totally forgot about this. Okay. And I'm not naming any names, right?
So then don't.
So he was like, yeah, I bought a course exactly outlining what oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this at lunch today. Okay. So he was like, look, I bought this course to like build an agency. Remember I told you there was an agency like fad going on 6 years ago? Like everybody was buying courses from a pretty well-known individual on social media. Okay. And then he had bought that course and he had tried to follow that process to build an agency. And he quickly realized, like, yes, the course is very good, but some of these courses that are good, they also, with intent, because they're the ones that's selling you the course, and that'll turn into the third circle theory here in a second. They sold you the course knowing, and they didn't tell you on purpose, like, hey, the sales part of this course, you got to have X amount of experience in selling things, because there's no way you can sell an agency or companies a $5,000 a month retainer without having any sort of like sales experience. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult because there's so many nuances. You know this because you've been through sales. There's so many nuances and ways you got to talk to certain people. There's no way you'll do that. So if you can't sell it to begin with, the course doesn't work for you. And then, but let's just say you sell one client at $5,000 a retainer. Yeah. The next thing you got to be able to do is produce the content that they want, and then be able to write the copy that they want, and then deploy the ads. So, but if you're learning it, you're doing it as you're learning, and then you're charging somebody $5,000 a month and you don't get the results that they want, you lose that client within the first 30 days. Yeah. Because then you also don't know, then they talk to you about how to do the customer service part, account management. Once you get the client in the door, this course does teach you like, hey, this is how you should do the weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings. But then you don't know how to do that either. So this is your first time doing it and you fucked that up. So no matter, there's so many booby traps.
It's like
course.
You just have, all your clients are going to be guinea pigs until you get through the course and you master the course, right?
That's exactly what it is. But how long does that take though?
Right.
Because I can promise you, I didn't take a course and do this. I went through the step of like doing things for free initially. That's the part I think people don't realize either. Like it's okay to do things for free sometimes, right? Not all the time, right? But it depends on at what level you're starting. I had to start at the level where I did things for free, then charge $300, $500 a month for everything that I just mentioned plus more. But that's the part they don't tell you in the course either. Like they leave certain things out because if they don't leave it out, they're not going to sell the course. Like y'all gotta like know that it's a game. Like it's a, I don't even know.
No,
like,
I know. I get it.
You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I do. And it can be so deceiving too, because
that's the word I was looking for. It's very deceiving.
Yeah, it's deceiving because especially with social media, you can clip and cut certain topics of, you know, a pitch of somebody like talking to an audience, but this will work. Like, this is my testimony for it. But like,
but
you skip the whole, you skip the whole part where they said, no, it took me 6 years. You just heard I was able to do it, you know, through this course. I paid this much, but it took them 6 years to just clip that part out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very deceiving. Which brings me to that third circle theory conversation we kind of had. Okay. Does it tie into this conversation? Like,
try it. Just try it high level, and if it doesn't work, then we'll end it and we'll try again next time. I mean, it's just like buying a course, you know? You gotta try it out.
Okay. Let me just gather myself.
Gather yourself. Got it.
This is a serious topic of conversation, though. So there's this theory called the third circle theory, and this guy named Pejman, which, remember exotic car hacks? Remember that course?
Another course.
Okay, see, that's why I'm saying I'm not talking shit about courses. So I bought a course. It's called Exotic Car Hacks, right? And then there's another course called Travel Hacks, right?
These two courses were bought after you bought a course about how to sing better or something. Dan's stuck on buying courses, but he's talking so much shit.
I think this is gonna be such a longer conversation than where it needs to go. So I think we need to revisit it because there's just so much to talk about when it comes to third circle theory.
Okay.
But like, if I just explain it, if I just explain it, look, there's 3 circles, right? There's the first circle, second circle, third circle. In the first circle, these are the people that, if you fall into the first circle, I'm sorry, but you're the person that sees a social media post, doesn't verify it. Like, so let's take courses, for example. You're the person that sees somebody selling a course, believes every single thing that they say, and then you buy it for $500. You're in that first circle. The second circle people will see that same ad and the same course, but then they'll say, hey, look, I need to see some testimonials. Until I see a testimonial and I see proof that this actually works, I'm not buying the course. But then as soon as they see somebody that they feel from their personal experiences, they can verify, like, yep, because I saw it on, let's say they believe MSN.com is a truthful news outlet. You know, I'm just picking one, right? And they see that this person has their course being sold on MSN.com somewhere like online or something like that on the side or something. They're like, oh, this guy's legit. Right? Because they don't know how he got on MSN.com being able to sell his course through an advertising banner or something like that. So he's like, oh, this is legit. He buys the course, but he only verifies it to the point that it makes sense for him based on his experiences, right? The third person is the person, well, it depends on where we want to take this, but the third person is a guy that won't buy the course until they actually talk to the person that made the course, the source. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, this person's like, man, I like what I'm seeing here. I verified that you seem legit based on testimonials. And, you know, now I see it's on, you have your advertising on all these major platforms. That's even more legit. I believe in Forbes. You know, I like Forbes. They have great, you know, credibility there on Forbes. So you're on there. Great. But I still need to talk to the guy that built it and be able to have a conversation and walk me through all the details of, you know, why this course should work. Yeah. So that's the nature of it. Do you see what I'm saying? But if I easily kind of recap it, the people in the first circle just believe anything that you tell them, no matter who it is. But if it's a family member, they probably just believe them, right? Because they're just very gullible. There you go. The second circle people like tend to do a little bit of research, but not in depth enough to make sure like they don't get fucked over. And then the people in the third circle, they're the ones that are building the courses, right? And then selling it. And then, no, they're not the ones selling it. They're actually the ones like super verifying it. And there's people outside of that circle. They're the actual ones that are, I mean, in a sense, like manipulating everybody underneath them. You see what I'm saying? So you're like looking at it. So the further you look at it, so like you start at the ground, you know, like the Google Earth thing.
Yeah, you zoom out.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole theory behind it, you know? So it's like the people on the outside of the circle or the third circle are the people that actually create the rain, right? And then sell you the umbrella.
Yeah.
Like they manifest, like they're the ones that orchestrate the rain and the thunder. And they're like, hey, here's an umbrella. I know you need it. So buy it from me.
That's pretty much an X-Files episode where there's a guy that makes...
Really?
Yeah. I think... No, it's... I mean, it's season 3. I'm going to pretend like it is.
Yeah.
But he literally goes around and everything, all the crops are dry.
I remember that.
And people believe that he brings the rain. And so they pay him money. And he's like, yep, I bring the rain. I fell asleep before the episode ended. So I don't know, like, what the jip was or whatever.
That's essentially what it is, though. So, like, it's...
believed it.
Yeah, that it's it. Like, we can kind of touch on it again, but...
Yeah,
but you get what I'm trying to say. I think you get the
picture
of like what I'm sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about today as we kind of come close to the end of our time?
No. You know, it's Friday for us. I mean, it was a great week, and I hope everybody, you know, that's listening to this podcast had a great week, and I hope you guys are sticking to your... I don't know, do people do New Year's resolutions? But the goals, I should say, like the goals that you have set for yourself. I know I personally still read my books. Like at the office, I've read the goals that I've written down from this year. Oh, we're only day 11 or day 12. See, I'm behind.
Feels like we're many more days in because of how much we've accomplished.
Yeah, like it is important. I'll leave the listeners with this. It is very important, that momentum that you're creating. So I could tell you, like, from not drinking since December 8th, like I've had not 1 ounce of alcohol. And one thing I've realized about myself is the amount of my thought process is a lot more clear than ever, because I don't think I've ever went past 30 days like not drinking in the last like 3 years. Like I'm okay to say that. Yeah, thanks.
Yay.
Yeah. But all that said, it is very important, no matter who you are, especially if you're a Valyntpreneur and you're running a business and you're a solopreneur, or you have a small team or whatever, even a medium-sized team or a big organization. It is very important to have that momentum. And the first 30, 60, 90 days of the year, 30 days of the year really does, I can say this. The first 30 days of the year will set the tone a lot of times for the rest of the year, and that momentum. So you can look at momentum on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis. So if you win that month of January, you're set in stone. Because I could tell you at Valynt, we're doing like over 30% better than we were the year before. And last year it was over 30% over the last year before. And we haven't even fucking started yet. Like, we're ready to slay this shit. So
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. So keep your focus. Keep going at it. Don't let things deter you, you know, because there's going to be challenges. Everybody has challenges. Everybody's in it to win, you know, but be in it to win it.
In it to win it.
Be in it to win it.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.